Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, why do I even write documentation? 3 truths and no lies. Non-IT director tells sysadmin, this is a network issue. You don't do network issues. Do not touch the network. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Why do I even write documentation? This is more of a general rant than a story of a specific incident because this happens all the damn time. I'm a web developer who specializes with a particular CMS and would frequently get client requests to provide them with Excel reports of the data that's in their CMS for various things. Several years ago, after writing a few quick and easy, but unreusable export admin tools, I decided to make a reusable tool that could handle any and all of these export requests, so that I would never have to write another custom export tool again. So I did. It took me several months, and I've been refining and adding to it for the past 5 years. Thanks to my tool, I actually was awarded with the CMS's MVP Technology Award, and have been an MVP for the past 4 years now. I made this tool as simple and user-friendly as possible, so that any CMS user should be able to understand how to use it, and be able to export data that they have read access to. Absolutely no technical skills required beyond what any CMS user already has. The tool itself has an explanation on every single field, but I also wrote out complete documentation on my personal blog for how to use it, which is linked to from the GitHub repo. So then all my clients started using it and never asked me for data exports again. Haha, just kidding. This is how it usually goes. Client, we need to know all of the pages that have been created in the CMS under this folder. Can you provide us with this? Note, this is the most basic possible export. Me, hi client, you can use the export tool that I've told you about 12 times over the past 3 years to pull that information. Here's the link to the documentation, though you probably would realize you don't even need it if you just tried opening the export tool and looking at it. Client, thanks. Can we schedule a meeting so that you can explain to us how to use the tool? In the meantime, can you please generate the report for us? Me, to my project manager, hi PM, you can use the export tool to generate that report they're asking for. PM, sure. I've never used it before though. Can you show me how it works? Then eventually, several months or years later, the PM finally tries the tool, not the client though. They will never ever use it because it's easier for them to just ask us for all the data they need and wait up to 5 days to get it rather than spend 2 minutes getting it themselves. The PM messages me on Slack, oh wow, this tool is really useful. However, this only fills me with anger rather than joy because I know it's useful. That's why I've been telling you to use it for the past 5 years. 3 truths and no lies. So this is first post on this subreddit. These are all pretty old and a somewhat short, but painful nonetheless. So first one was maybe a year into me work help desk. I get the call and the user proceeds to tell me that she broke the cup holder off the computer. I started laughing as I have heard the myth. She goes, why are you laughing? I broke the cup holder and I need a new one. I realized that she was serious. She genuinely believed that the CD tray was a cup holder. It was on a cart and she had been using the tray to hold her coffee as she moved around. I checked later and the tech had closed the ticket stating that she did actually snap the tray off completely. She was using a ceramic cup and put it down too hard and broke it. Obviously a new drive had to be installed. About a year ago I ran into a consultant that had a user do that at one of his old places. Seriously, is this more common than I thought it was? Second story is in a similar vein. User calls about some issue. I tell her to take her mouse and move it across the screen to click on something. She tells me that now her mouse isn't working too. I ask a few questions and realize that she actually had taken the mouse and was trying to move the physical mouse on the screen. I had to explain to her that pointer on screen was also the mouse. She admitted that she was confused why I asked her to put the mouse on the screen, but decided to just go with it. I guess it was just a lapse in judgment, but it definitely worried me. The final one kills me to this day. So when I can and they were doing the XP to 7 upgrade. This is a massive company, so literally thousands of computers. It got stalled, but they started it up again after I had started. They apparently hired a consultant company on recommendation from one of the higher-ups. They were not good. Computers not configured to connect to the network. No programs installed at all or installed improperly. No printers be connected or installed with drivers for the wrong make/model. Devices not being set up for us to remote onto. They basically messed so often and badly we always knew where they were working because we would get a flood of calls from those floors for all sorts of random issues we couldn't remote on to fix anything either, requiring desktop to come fix it. Well, I thought it couldn't get any worse until one day a user calls up and says, "Hey, my printer is installed as a CD." I thought they were confused because no one could mess up that bad, right? Nope. It was one of the few PCs they actually did get the remote set up on. And yes, they had somehow installed a printer on the computer as a CD drive. The drive was labeled as a printer, and when they turned the printer off and on, the drive disappeared. I called over my colleagues and they were just as shocked and horrified as I was. We also all thought it was hilarious as well. About 2 years ago I actually ran into another like that. I never thought I would run into another printer as a CD drive in my life. And for those curious, the higher up that recommended them, the issue was sorted out and dealt with. Non-IT director tells sysadmin, "This is a network issue. You don't do network issues. Do not touch the network." Had a fun run-in with the director of another department yesterday. She had mentioned to a coworker of mine that she couldn't scan to email from the printer in her office. I'm the printer whisperer for our organization, so he asked me to look at it. I knew from experience that this director won't let me in her department to look at anything without prior permission. They're in an outside locked building filled with PII and she's super protective of her stuff, so I called and asked if I could come over and take a look at her printer. I explained that I wanted to run a few skin tests and have her or one of her people walk me through the process they use. That's when the conversation went south. Director, yelling across the phone, "This is a network issue. You don't do network issues. You're not allowed to handle network issues. Do not touch the network." I was stunned at her words and tone because I'm the one in charge of printers. If something isn't working, I check it out, and if I can't handle it, it's moved up to my senior sysadmin, and we work on it together so I learn about it. This woman is director of non-IT department. She is equal to my boss, the CIO. She has no say as to what I can or cannot do or my daily duties, not can she yell at me like that. I'm a freaking sysadmin. I deal with network stuff all day. I'm a network god in my office, but I played the grown-up, told her, "That's okay, director. I'll speak to senior sysadmin and see what is going on." I beat her phone call by a minute, just enough time to brief senior sysadmin on what was going on. He was amazed at director's attitude. "You're a sysadmin. What in the world is she talking about?" The fun part, her printer problem wasn't a network issue. The shortcut they're used to pressing on the printer screen had disappeared. I was able to walk senior sysadmin through how to put it back on the printer via a remote system.